Yada masipa se muguso a hedwumedie no nso aboyi de na oni nsem pensin mu bre na so e obi dwumedie so fa wadwen e de bre 1462 afi facebook.com/multitvworld yeguso a eje mwadwen kire you report no ho wo ba bi asem bi asi wo camera o tv ne na anase wo camera ni titi wo mobile phone camera wo so video nso wo so a record bi twa bi na fa bre na multi tv ye heard na say meet standards na che say ade na ode ba no e say ade to abonten ade ba to abonten na award bi wo ho kra ye de amount enti multitvworld.com/you report empenifo abetnanse ya ye be beto to adwen na ansa na mede issues no e betu dwa no empenifo abekan sa owura ye balado menu mrahye bedwani edema ahafa no so opani mo achi mo akwaba yo sanso ena Solomon Kansa deputy propaganda secretary edema Manjuko National Democratic Congress so mo achi mo akwaba yo ensam miensa ena ye behwe so ena no pay ni di kan boko ensensem ye nyina ye nim boko ene sa ne potem ye ndi potem ho no ne ekoba entokwa ba ye menam so nipa dodo na hwe omonkwa MPP abandada no ma di curfew eto boko ne potem atena ho a ndc ba so atena ho a ene ne atene se boko ene ye curfew ne de afri ho na so do mpacho ma menkan ne graphic reporter what they buy na graphic say government yesterday lifted the curfew which had been imposed on the Boko municipality and its immediate environs for many years now. A statement issued by the Interior Minister, Dr. Benjamin Kumbo, and issued in Accra said the lifting of the curfew was in recognition of the return to normalcy in the municipality and its immediate environs. It also intended to allow businesses and commerce and at the same time enable the police and the military to maintain the calm that has returned to the area, it added. Into daily graphic asema what they aban so far na say any paper it made this aboko issue e buy. Na yebedi hu komo say fi sa bra aboko nsensemi buy a ene ye curfew na fi ho no. Sign and penny for adwenkyere e ho etie. Mini kan free ora balado menu so mrahye bedwani. Opani ni graphic di aban no say Ministry of Interior for so di aban no. Enti wa adwenkyere ho ebeboa na nipa se ebinum adwene se saa curfew ya lefty bi da ma wonchu ni san ko buy ma buy san reimpose ye na ye freeway so am pass so wie baba na
yo me da se me ma watifo no wahwefo nyina so achi se penimfo se nsuo fa oba wonya nsuo no nti se ebribi curfew no yi free ho na basabasa ye san bae no nkire se wo se curfew no tena ho da sebe akukọ kra no owo ne fa hodie se onantea ne dura nwumra no akwakoda na enye nipa na wo se edin hye eto no so se brank ono a onye na dwenso okoda ebianko wo na dwuma bi kra akoye yese kokoda bra o peso sore yese men sore brenon son se senyamia ya Adom na basabasa na no abrase na womo ehwe bambo so no ehun se sabri womo yi free ho manipa ne nya kwan to womo adwuma so ne be yi a na womo yi free ho a ye bo bokufo ene obi a oboa ma saa asomdwe no bae no abaso na ye bo aban so abaso se wayi saa curfew na free oma bokufo nso benya womo fa ahodie na omde aye womo nyuma na mmom nia ye me kan se nyese ye afiri ho no na aban ebeyi nani afiri ho woma nani enko ho eche se abam bofo no woma ni enko ho se ne be ya se bibi esa pegya no ho ma basabasa na asa ba wom betumi abrenase na fe niema basabasa ye no bae no aban no nkonkoda won kum no hwehwem na won fa yie nto yie ma mentimi ho ase ana ewo ho ma basabasa no bae no ansan ansoro biu anye sa ebe se border su eja no ewo mu asa dumu behu na asa funya mu nti aban onkonkoda wa left ban na eye na emum ne ma basabasa no bae a ekofa curfew no bae no won to agina tukuo bi no mo hwehwem na omfa yi nto yi na asomdwe aba no emma asetena
opani o hwa graphic report enso ekotu ye 2007 ne a left ban no kakra na Samampede festival festival you know san ko honya niemam yenim se afi etwa mu no kra no na regional security council wo mu hu say yemedi festival na see me any afi esi family I don't know san wentwi ba sa festival mpacho ho abakosem ne sen a ebri bia na ne kofa sa wentwi ba
meka se minim ho abakosem a na meye di nsu agina manum akasa na de meka no se ye den yo se ye den
me pacho me atoa so na yenko regional minister ho na yenko bisa ne se ene ho asem te sen ora makoyongo upper east regional minister wono ho bokompotem ho no wono hweso yebedi no brofo kasem ye di nchim kakra de abremo. Thank you very much for joining us here on Multi TV, Mr. Oyongo.
Thank you.
We appreciate the fact that you've had time to join us. Now we have read from the Daily Graphic in today's edition that the curfew in Boko has been lifted. Now, as a regional minister, would you give us a background to the story as to why the curfew has been lifted this time round?
Well, the curfew has been lifted because in the last 18 months, we haven't had any serious violation of the peace in Boko. Besides, people are committed now to talking peace instead of taking to the barrel of the gun. And there is some commitment, to positive engagement instead of this resorting to guns. So we are convinced that the people now are committed to the peace process. The Inter-Ethnic Peace Committee has come a long way. Pacification has been done. The only setback was the celebration of the festival by the Mamprosis, and that, as a result, made the Mamprosis to withdraw from the peace process. But they had gone very far. So we are still working around the clock to see whether we can get the Mamprosis back to the peace talks. But there are signs that they will get back to the peace talks. And when they get back to the peace talks, like I've said, the Inter-Ethnic Peace Committee had already gone very far. So we'll just climax the peace process. When they come back, we'll just climax it with a grand pacification, and that will signal the end of the conflict.
So just some clarification, sir. So is that to suggest that the Samampede festival you refer to will now be celebrated this time round?
Well, we are still discussing it with the traditional authorities. The problem came from the traditional authorities because, according to them, due process was not followed. So this time round, we'll try to make sure that due process is followed, and maybe if they are allowed to celebrate it, maybe we could begin to see positive changes, in the peace process.
Mr. Oyongo, are we going to still have the security services who have been keeping the peace around for how long are we going to have them? Once that the curfew has been lifted?
No, we'll continue to have the security forces there. What I can foresee is the reduction in numbers, but that will be based on the advice of the security men on the ground. But if we have had this long spell of peace, maybe what I can foresee is a reduction in the numbers, because it's expensive to maintain these troops on the ground there.
Do you have any idea how much the state has committed by way of resources and money-wise to this peace process in Boko? How long the curfew has been around and how much resources we have committed to the peace?
Not exactly, but I believe national security should have that. I don't have access to that.
A lot of people are a bit skeptical because there have been occasions that the curfew has been lifted, and there have been reoccurrence of skirmishes here and there, really allowing the security services and the regional administration to reimpose the curfew. What is the assurance that, in spite of the 18 months allow in peace over this period, people will not resort to arms once again?
I can't give you any assurance. The assurance I can give you is that, you know, people are now prepared to talk instead of resorting to violence. We have done a lot of sensitization, and people think that it's better to jaw than to war. And besides, we have a lot of other organizations which are assisting us, you know, in our search for peace. So that's why we are convinced that this time around we're going to have a very long lull, you know, in the peace process. And there is every reason for us to start rejoicing and looking at it as the beginning of the end of the conflict.
Well, we thank you very much, and we all appreciate the fact that now that the curfew has been lifted, economic activity will return to normalcy in the Boko municipality. And we wish you well also in your job in ensuring peace in the area, sir.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Ram Makoyongo, Upper East Regional Minister. Of any, I'm saying, over up here,